Good morning, I'm Jeremy Drolbeck coming to you from firstclassmortgageservice.com, and I wanted to talk to you real quickly about a question I get asked very often, and that's where are RDs at? What are their turn times? So before we get into that, let's talk about the general process with RD. So basically, a file comes in, somebody gets an accepted offer on a house, we're going to send out loan documents, and when that comes back, we'll order the appraisal, title work. We'll go through the normal process that we do on our end processing a loan. Once the file comes back from underwriting, so this is 2 or 3 weeks into the transaction, the file come back from underwriting, and at that point, normally we'd be cleared to close and we'd go to closing. But with rural development, there's one extra step. The file will then go to rural development, where it'll sit on somebody's desk and wait for them to review the file and give it their blessing. It's usually not a big deal. We very rarely have any issues with their approvals. Usually they sign right off on it. Sometimes they'll ask for 1 or 2 other things, but it's usually a very simple process. They sign off on it. It comes back to us, and then our underwriter clears it to close, and we schedule the closing. The problem and the delay that we run into sometimes with rural development loans is rural development, they're on their own schedule, and it's the government, so guess what? Sometimes they get a little backed up. And so if they're running an extra 2 weeks, that means it's going to take an extra 2 weeks to close. If they're running an extra month, it's going to take an extra month to close. And there's areas in the country where they're running 6 weeks to review a file, which would be a real downer. Usually in the Michigan market that we're in, what we're seeing is in the spring they're real quick because they're kind of coming out of that winter slowdown, and so they're usually running usually a week or something like that, and then they get backed up in the summer as they get all these files, and they'll end up running 3 weeks or so, which is where we're at right now when I'm recording this video. So let me give an example. I got on my website here now where RD's working on and when I last updated it. So what you can do is you can pull up your calendar and you can count the days to add to the timing yourself. So if we're normally going to say it typically takes 30 days to close a loan, you look at this, you see RD's 2 weeks out, you add 2 weeks to that, then we're looking at 45 days to close. And so you can see in this example, so to speak, they are working on August 26th, and it's currently September 15th. So we're going to count that out. It's 1, 2, 3 weeks. So they're 3 weeks out to review a file. So I would say if you're writing a contract right now, I would allow 45 to 60 days to close. It'll probably realistically take about 50, somewhere in there, 55. So that's kind of how it works. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm Jeremy Drolbeck, coming to you from firstclassmortgageservice.com. Thank you.